not about politics, it's about football.
This is a simple game.
We're going to run the ball, and we're going to pass the ball. We're just going to play football, really.
How good of a football player are you?
I just get it and try to spin it. That's all.
I just love the game.
It really is the best time of the year.
Desk. Mike, how are we feeling this morning?
Feeling great. We get to talk a little draft. New draft board dropping on PFF.com.
You didn't even do the smelling salts today.
No,
you were
I didn't.
Ready for it.
I was hyped up enough as is.
Walked into the building, chest was puffed. You were ready. You did a full big board update, right?
Yep.
Explain it.
Top 50 big board on PFF.com, I believe. I don't know. I haven't actually checked to see if it's on PFF.com, but it probably is.
You sent it to the edit team.
Yeah, it's at the edit team.
It's either up or it's gonna get up.
Or you'll see it in about 5 minutes here.
You will, because we're going to be breaking down top 20 at least of the big board. And I actually, I've gotten a sneak peek of the big board, and there's a couple of players that are not on your top 20 that I've seen on a lot of top 20s that we need to get to, that we need to discuss here. I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat, everybody joining us live. Y'all are setting the tone already. I said at the end of yesterday's show, a new tradition that I love is people just naming random NFL players. And I logged into the chat 5 minutes before the show even started, and y'all were already flooding the chat. Must Love Beards 84 set the tone at the top with Joik Bell.
Joik Bell.
Great poll.
Very random.
Great random football player name. Ren said Crockett Gilmore. Fantastic name. Another random one. What was your submission?
I went back and I went with another mid-round pick for the Packers from the mid-2000s, B.J. Sander. People forget they drafted a punter in the 3rd round, and he lasted 1 year in the NFL. If that happened today, they would have gotten roasted. But back then, it was just...
Instead, it's just a great random call-out.
Just a great random call-out.
Just a great random call-out. Phillips said Jaquiz Rogers. Great call-out. Love that one. The one that I brought to the table was Samari Roll.
Yeah.
Titans legend. All-Pro 2020. No, not 2020.
Great name,
2000.
too. Like an all-time name.
100%.
Samari.
Yeah, you're in the early Madden days, and Samari Roll's just sitting right there. You need him as your 2nd or 3rd corner. You drafted him. Come on. Of course you drafted him. Got a lot of other great ones. Adam, Chris Borland. Ryan said Mike Allstott. Mike Allstott's not random. That is a legend.
Yeah.
That is a legend. We need to talk random NFL players here.
Technically, anyone's random. People always say random.
That is true.
Yeah.
I want people to be able to do whatever they want. Rashad Mendenhall is a great poll. You guys are fantastic today. You guys absolutely lit it up today, 100%. Got to shout out Felipe in the chat. The chat champ is here, baby. He's here in the show. He's here early on. I didn't see if Felipe had he said Peerless Price. It's a good one.
Great name.
It's a good one.
Another great name team.
Fantastic name team. We got a jam-packed show. Not only are we doing NFL draft talk, we're doing some fit rankings, not run fit rankings, actual fit rankings.
Yes.
We might rank Mike's fit in a second when we walk we walk over the board, and you guys can see what that is. But we also have a creative segment for you guys in the middle/end of the show. I don't know when it's exactly going to come, but a little bit of a weather update, a forecast, if you will, for teams around the NFL. We're looking at some future schedules, and we're saying, hey, are the skies looking bright and clear, or is it stormy? So we're going to talk about a handful of teams and where they might be in a couple of weeks as we look at their short-term schedule, I'll say. We don't go too far, but next couple of weeks, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and what could be for those teams. So stick around for that. Who's got the mic in the production suite today? I don't even know, because Quinn's still not here. Who's got
it? Your boy. What's up?
Oh, it's Stone. What's up? You got to put Stone. You got to put the mic on the other side so when you lean in, we can still see your face.
You're the boss.
There we go. There we go. I'm absolutely not the boss. In fact, you are in control of all the buttons, which I think makes you the boss. Stone, do we have a question of the day from Quinn?
We do indeed. Let's cut to our friend Mike Quinn over in Croatia.
Okay, let's do it. Oh, international question of the day.
What's up, guys? Today's question of the day is short and sweet. Sauce Gardner's 7 forced incompletions are 2nd in the league amongst defensive backs. When's the last time a rookie defender had 7 or more forced incompletions through the first 6 weeks of an NFL season?
Great question. Wow.
It's a great question. I know where my mind immediately went, but it's pretty far back. It was Marcus Peters. He started off, he led the league as a rookie, I believe.
In picks, didn't he?
In pass pickups. Maybe not picks, maybe picks,
I'm not
sure.
Didn't he have 8 his first year?
He may have, yeah. But that was where my mind initially went.
How many
But that was back, 20,
Oh, who's the last one to do it? Okay, I thought we were guessing a couple of them. So this is a good one. Chat, get in on it. Who's the last rookie to have 7 or more forced incompletions through the first 6 weeks? Marcus Peters is a really good guess.
But again, that was like what did he come out? 15?
He did. Yeah, it was
so that's
15.
a while ago.
But still, that's
Yeah.
that's a ton.
I know Marshawn Lattimore started off real hot his rookie year.
Another good one.
17.
I'm trying to think of corners that would get drafted that would get targeted that much.
I'll just like last year.
I don't think Ramsey
I don't
would've
think
got-
anyone last year.
I don't think
2 years ago, the cornerback class stunk. Right, 2020, you had Jerry Sneed probably playing the best of the bunch, but I don't think he had 7+ in 6 weeks. 2019.
Yeah, let's look
going
at
back to that.
let's look at 2019 here. I'm looking at corners.
Who was tops that year?
We got DeAndre Baker was the first corner off the board. Byron Murphy, Rocky
not a great
Sin,
cornerback
Sean
class.
Murphy
Yeah, that was a
Bunting,
bad corner
Trayvon
class.
Mullen, Greedy Williams.
Didn't even play
All right,
his rookie year.
2018. I'll look at the chat in a second. Denzel Ward, Jair Alexander. Did Jair have that much ball production his first year?
Not like that, I don't think.
Mike Hughes,
did
Josh
have a really good
Jackson,
game.
Carlton Davis.
He had a bunch of pass breakups against like Brandon Cooks, but I can't remember if that was year 1 or year 2 for Jair.
Marshawn Lattimore. Ooh, Tre'Davious White.
Yeah, it was the same year as Lattimore. So
Right.
yeah.
And Marlon Humphrey was that same
Yeah.
year. Shaq Griffin was that year too.
I think I'm sticking with Marcus Peters.
It's Marcus Peters, or I don't hate the Marshawn Lattimore call out.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I think that's a good one. People are saying Trey White in the chat, Jalen Ramsey. I don't know if Ramsey had that much ball production, though. Were people going after Ramsey that early? Somebody said Charles Woodson. I don't know if that's a random NFL player guess or if that's just an actual guess for the question of the day. Now we're bleeding over.
PFF did not track Woodson's rookie year, so.
You weren't doing that? And you weren't doing that?
We always like.
I feel like you've been here forever.
In the early days of PFF, where I was like, in the off season, we're like what to grade? Should we go back and grade previous seasons?
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, it takes forever, and no one actually cares that much. Like, no one's gonna pay us for a 1998 grade on Charles Woodson.
Well, if you would have done it, and you would have
know.
known the question today.
Yeah.
So just goes to show you, sometimes doing a little extra work can go a long way. It might pay off for you in the end. All right, so we'll keep that question of the day in our back pocket as we go throughout the show. We'll revisit it a couple of times as well. But you want to head over to the draft board?
Yeah.
You want to get right to it? All right. This is going to be one of our favorite days here on this show because Mike gets to do what he loves best. He gets to talk draft. I love talking draft as well. And we have here for you the official, updated PFF Top 20.
Actually on a board too. I think this is the first time
So damn literal.
I've put it on a board. So
You've never put it on a board before? Never? Come on, you had to have done an exercise where you got
maybe
the
like a
magnets
top
and-
10, but maybe not. I can't remember.
So here we go. This is the top 20 of the updated big board that you have here. Obviously, everybody in the chat, you can fire off your immediate thoughts where you guys see players. If a guy's a little bit too high, if he's a little bit too low, if there's a player who's not on the top 20 who you want to go, Mike, the hell are you doing, my guy? Let us know. I'll check in with Stone as we're kind of going throughout this, and he'll be checking in the chat. We'll get your questions on in the show. But, Mike, I think we got to start at the very top. I think we got to start at the very top with Bryce Young. There is so much debate right now between Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, who you actually have number 4, but we'll get to that in a second. Bryce Young, not only do you have him as QB1, you have him number 1 overall over a guy like Will Anderson, his teammate, which I know a lot of people love for great reasons. But talk to me about Bryce Young. What do you love so much about?
Yeah, it's factoring in positional value on the board to some degree. And it's the fact that he has not missed a beat. And now obviously he got hurt with a shoulder injury, but he is the highest grade quarterback in the FBS right now. After, losing 2 top 50 picks at wide receiver, usually we say, be wary of the guys who just rely on, whether it's Justin Fields, who have a ton of talent around them, may not translate to the NFL. It may be the wide receivers doing the work. Bryce Young loses all those guys still playing the same level that we saw a season ago. So that's why I have Bryce Young. I'm so high in Bryce Young, and it's the winner mentality. It's sort of the underdog that he claims he is, despite being a 5-star, despite being, everyone's favorite now for the number 1 overall pick. But it truly is. Like, he believes that he is an underdog. He puts in the work like he's an underdog, and in crunch time, he's the guy showing up. So that's why he's number one pick in my eyes.
Yeah, look, physically, you're going to find better quarterbacks.
Yes.
You'll find better quarterbacks on this list. You'll find better quarterbacks in different draft classes. But why do we always go after the guys who have the physical traits because it's rare, right? Because it's supposed to be more rare. What this dude does week in and week out, whether he's got a great supporting cast around him like we've seen last year, whether it's not as ideal like we're seeing this year, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
He plays unbelievable football, and I think that rarity of how he's able to play no matter what. I mean, I think that this is definitely we got to go with a stock up here for Bryce Young.
And I'll say this. Maybe doesn't fit the physical profile, but I don't have like arm strength concerns. I don't have arm talent concerns. You know, he doesn't have the same cannon as, he's not tier 1 of arm strength in the NFL, but he's got plenty.
We don't need to talk about Will Levis too much at number 2. I mean, if we want to get into it at some point, but
Will Anderson, you won't find a person who doesn't have him the top non-quarterback.
Right.
You know, like you just
has to be. But you got back-to-back quarterbacks here. You got Will Levis ahead of C.J. Stroud, which is going to be a little controversial, my friend. Take the floor.
Yeah, this is where a debate starts to factor in. To me, Stroud is the more probably polished pocket passer at this point. You obviously have the numbers leaning towards Stroud. I cannot get over, though, how physically gifted Will Levis is and how his tools compare to the guys doing it at elite level at the NFL. Like what he could be at the NFL level. From a pure arm talent perspective, you flip on his tape compared to Stroud's, compared to Young's, and it's just night and day. The ball rips out of his hand at just a different caliber. His release is tighter than those guys. And his footwork and like his ability to maneuver and sort of manipulate in the pocket is very sudden, very much what you want at the position, and also can add on with his legs in the running game. And at 6'3", 232 pounds, like he is a big dude in the pocket. He is built like a franchise quarterback is built. Like he ticks all those boxes physically. Yeah, you're seeing the stats there. It's not quite ideal yet. But you watch his tape compared to, again, Stroud's. And even Bryce Young's, even without the wide receivers, the amount of open guys he has down the football field to hit doesn't have a lot. He is throwing to not the talent that those other guys are. And kind of you saw why he targeted Wan'Dale Robinson so much last year is because he was the guy who would get open. And so he has half the receiving yards because that's the only guy Will Levis trusts. So I do think once he does get a better situation, we're going to see Levis stocking up.
So we're going with the stock up here for Will Levis. Then I got to get a couple more words on C.J. Stroud here because that's the opposite side of things.
Well, number 4 is no slouch.
Of course, right. And I wanted you to certainly be able to say that there. But what do you think about Stroud in his game? Because QB3 obviously means you have a lot of respect for these quarterbacks, them all being in the top 5. But is there a big difference here? Do you still love Stroud? Do you still think he'd be a franchise guy?
Yeah, that's why you're putting him, again, 4 overall on any draft board shouldn't be a knock. I'm not going to sit here and poke holes in Stroud's game. He's just not, arm, probably definitely below him, probably even below Bryce Young from a pure strength perspective. Good enough to succeed at the NFL, but he's more of a touch passer, more of a pocket timing sort of passer. And he can create with his legs, but he is not like an add-on in the run game sort of guy. He is not a outside the pocket creator by any means. So Stroud, but his timing is exceptional. He plays the position differently than his predecessors. Before you want to give him the Ohio State knock, it is night and day. Only an 11.3% pressure to sack conversion rate over his career. Fields was over twice that. If you're worried about these Ohio State quarterbacks and how that situation translates to the NFL, he is much more of a safe bet. May not have the upside ceiling that a guy like Justin Fields has, but I do feel confident about him succeeding in the NFL.
Can we talk about Bryan Bresee next? You've got Bryan Bresee at number 6, and Bryan Bresee, when he was going through the recruiting process, the defensive tackle at Clemson, I mean, he was the cream of the crop. I think for some places he was number 1 overall, the number 1 recruit in the country. Over the last couple of years, he hasn't exactly been able to pin his ears back and be that kind of pass rusher that you would see normally at number 6 overall. So is this just a potential thing? Are you seeing more from him this year? What are your overall thoughts on Bresee?
Yeah, I've definitely seen more from him just in one-on-one situations this year. Obviously, with defensive coordinator, who I'm blanking on right now, going to Oklahoma. Brent Venables, there you go.
I was going to say not Brent Venables.
Yeah, looking a little different this year. So Bresee's been better, and I think him and Myles Murphy, these guys are both top 20 freaks list guys for Bruce Feldman. Like they tick all those boxes physically. It's kind of more when, not if, they're going to turn into impact problems down the road because they were just so physically gifted. 6'5", 300, looks like a defensive end.
He's huge.
6'5", 275, built like a statue. Like those guys are true freaks of nature with what they can do, and you see it in reps, see it in flashes. Haven't seen it consistently yet, but I'm going to buy in when guys are that physically gifted.
Right below him is Peter Skoronski, and this is offensive tackle 1 for you, the offensive tackle at Northwestern. I'm curious because when I went through summer scouting, I also had Peter Skoronski as number 1, but it was almost like okay, you have to have him number 1 because there's nobody else really challenging him. But him being at number 7, that's still high praise for an offensive tackle. What's your overall thoughts of him and then the rest of the class for the offensive tackle guys?
Yeah, he reminds me to some degree of Jonah Williams coming out, where it's like, and I think he's a better prospect than Jonah Williams was even coming out, more physically gifted, where it's like you're not buying in for the physical tools, you're buying in for how they play the position. And Peter Skoronski, I don't think I've seen a junior as technically sound and as consistent with his technique as he is at that young age. He's only allowed 2 pressures all season. He's on pace for the best pass blocking season we've ever graded. And now he doesn't look like Tristan Wirfs. He doesn't look like Andrew Thomas. He's never going to. And in the run game, you may see some deficiencies. He may never be that guy in that regard. But in pass protection, safe bet, draft him. He's going to be able to pass protect.
All right, forgot the arrow up, but need one for Brian Brzee. Need an arrow up on Peter Skoronski. With those guys both being in the top 10, we'll go to number 9. We'll go to wide receiver 1, right? You and I talked about this earlier this week, how important wide receiver is, how important it is to get a difference maker at the position. It was a slow start for Quentin Johnson to start the year, Mike. I was getting a little bit worried because I also had him wide receiver 1, and I was like, this guy's too talented for TCU to not get him the ball. But we've seen it over the last couple of weeks. Now I think he can validate this. What about him being wide receiver 1 in this class?
Yeah, I'm watching his tape early on in the season. Like, he's still this insanely explosive dude. 6'4", 215. He's built, I mean, his wingspan's probably going to come in around 6'8", 6'9". He is long as can be. And he is just, with the ball in his hands after the catch, unlike anything I've ever seen for a receiver that size. He has, I believe, 34 broken tackles on 89 career receptions, or 44 career broken tackles on 89 career receptions. Like, guys cannot bring him down. And so he's not the polished product I think we've come to expect in recent years at the wide receiver position. I wouldn't expect him to day one hit the ground running and look like maybe Drake London has this year for a bigger wide receiver. But my Lord, the physical tools, and we'll see at the Combine, are off the charts for this guy. Very excited to see what he can do at the next level, and we're already seeing it. Damn near 400 yards the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, you see some of the stats on the screen there. 91.4 receiving grade, 41% wide receiver usage. That's what that threat category is. So they're obviously going to him a lot over the last couple of weeks. 23 receptions, almost 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, 10 explosive plays in the last 2 games alone, which is super, super impressive. Let's bounce around a little bit because I want to stick with wide receiver. A lot of people love talking about wide receiver. You've got Jordan Addison as wide receiver 2, number 14. Jackson Smith-Njigba not on this list.
Yeah.
And to start the year, some early mock drafts, a lot of people had Jackson Smith-Njigba in that top 15. Now, he's been hurt. So I'm curious how much that goes into that, how much maybe the rise of these other guys go into it. But what's your thoughts on Addison, Smith-Njigba, and then kind of the rest of the wide receivers that people have talked about?
Yeah, so I was never, even going into this year, Jackson Smith-Njigba was outside the top 15, I believe, on the PFF draft board. I was never high on JSN. I just don't think he's that caliber of athlete that you're really going to go to bat for with that high of a pick. He's just outside the top 20, I believe, 23rd. I'm not dropping his stock. I still think his stock's solid. He doesn't need to play another down for that. But you have to just understand what you're getting. He is a reliable slot option in that Ohio State offense who knows how to manipulate space, knows how to read zone coverages, knows how to find throwing windows, knows how to get upfield after the catch and maximize every target that he gets. Super reliable, but you put him one-on-one on the outside, I think you're going to be a little sorely disappointed with his lack of long speed, with his inability to basically separate consistently one-on-one at a high level, which is where the game's going, right? Jordan Addison, I think, has shown that. Quentin Johnson has shown that, and at least has the tools to develop into that. I think Jackson Smith-Njigba, you're getting a really good player, but you just have to understand what it is, and it's maybe not the guys that you draft as highly as the other two on this list.
So along those same lines, I'll go to Michael Mayer next because Mayer's clearly been tight end 1 for a lot of people for a long time in this class. But I think people would talk about Mayer in the same way that you talked about just Jackson Smith-Njigba, right? Where he's not this crazy wild athlete we've seen with some tight ends in the past, but he's super reliable. You have him in the top 15, so talk to me about a guy that I know you've watched a lot of as a Notre Dame fan.
Yeah, I just think I haven't seen a tight end at his size, 6'4", 265 pounds. He is no small dude. Be able to consistently get open underneath the intermediate the way he does. Just completely understands how to create that window of separation, how to get into a linebacker, how to get into a safety, get that little nudge, and then get that window for his quarterback. Very smart player. And then as a run blocker, you're getting an NFL-ready guy to add on in that regard. So that kind of dual threat that everyone's looking for to keep defenses honest in the running game. Basically, when they go too high, he can one-on-one against the defensive end. You feel good about that. When they are, in single high, he can work the seam. He can find that space, and obviously hasn't dropped a pass all season. That's a good.
He's got 0 drops this
year?
I
believe so.
I mean, that's.
He's got super reliable hands.
The tone in my voice was shocked, but it shouldn't have been shocked because you're right. That's exactly what Michael Mayer brings to the table. We got to go to number 11. This your guy here. Tyree Wilson, the edge rusher from Texas Tech, started his career at Texas A&M a handful of years ago, made the switch over. This is his 3rd year with Texas Tech now, and 6'6", 280 pounds, uniquely built edge rusher. Talk to me about Tyree Wilson being number 11 on the board here.
Yeah, he breakout kind of 5th year here, bet on himself coming back. Probably would have been somewhere around a day 2 pick if he had come out after his redshirt junior year last year. Leads the nation now. As you see there, 34 pressures, been a different animal. Over 7 foot wingspan for this guy. I'm not putting him in kind of that Trayvon Walker tier of athlete, but that's why you're buying in, right? Because wingspan like that, size like he has, doesn't come around every day, and it makes your life so much easier to beat offensive tackles at the NFL level when you're always getting that first contact, when you're always winning that reach battle, when you are damn near the size of the tackles blocking you. Yeah, Tyree Wilson, someone's going to draft him highly. You can bet on that.
Yeah, if anybody in the chat is talking about some of the guys that we got in the top 20, I'll hit Stone up, see if we can get some of your questions for it. But before we get to that, I'll go stock up on Tyree Wilson because I think certainly him being number 11 overall, that's definitely a stock up. Brian Branch, I think he's got your number 1 safety, right? We don't have Antonio Johnson on this list. You've got Brian Branch here at number 16 overall. Versatile, slot type of defender for Alabama. What do you like about Brian Branch and to have him in the top 20 here?
To me, there's no one in this class, the way you talked about Patrick Surtain coming out, the way you talked about, Antoine Winfield, the guys who see the game on the defensive side of the ball better than anyone else, who just they get it. Brian Branch gets it. That's the way he sees the game of football. Faster, better, more adept than anyone else on this list. May not be the most physically gifted. I mean, 6 foot 193 is small even by safety standards. But I think he is the next in that line of, the Alabama defensive back pipeline of guys capable of just stepping in day 1 and being impact stars in the secondary. And he's exactly what you're looking for. He plays the slot. He can be that, we talked to Kevin Byard last week. He can be that guy who does it all for your defense in a coverage role. And my favorite thing about him, the best tackler at the defensive back position.
Yeah.
Bar none.
Yeah.
2 missed tackles in his career on 125 attempts. I've never seen anything like it in the PFF database.
And then the film matches, man. Yeah. I mean, he will stick his nose in there against any kind of ball carrier, no matter who he's going up against in the slot. He is definitely a lot of fun to watch. Stone, do we have any? We got any questions? We got any comments on the top 20 from anybody in the chat?
Yeah, I know PFF hates running backs, guys, but Bijan Robinson is the man. So, how far is he?
Yes.
Bijan.
Where's Bijan?
Did fall right outside the top 20. I want to say 21.
You coward.
I know.
You absolute coward.
But that's as high as that's as high as I think we've ever put a running back on the PFF draft board. He is special, no doubt about it. And truthfully, I do think, I just said earlier this week on Talking Ball, that I think running backs coming back in terms of value.
Wow.
We're starting to see cyclical.
Wow.
Not super.
You heard it here first. On PFF, the running back is coming back, baby.
But it is, right? If running game is going to be such a valuable part of moving the ball down the football field with the numbers, box counts getting so low, it's almost becoming akin to wide receivers or slot wide receivers in how much they're getting used and where they're getting used and the space they're able to operate in. So I do think those guys are more important now than they were probably 4 or 5 years ago when everyone's running cover 3 and no one can run the football. You're seeing a lot of teams have more success on the ground. Bijan Robinson's a guy where with his receiving ability, with his dynamism, leads the NCAA right now in terms of broken tackles. You could talk me into him in the back end of the first round.
Not to give away too much of the top 50 that you're going to put out, because I still want you guys to go to the website and click on it. Give Mike the views and the downloads there. We'd really appreciate it. What about the other running backs? It feels like there's a lot of running backs to like in this class. I'm curious, did any other make the top 50? Because we've got Blake Corum, we've got Jahmyr Gibbs, we've got Zach Evans, Sean Tucker, like so many of these guys who I know a lot of people are fan favorites of. Did any of the other ones make the top 50?
No other ones made the top 50. That's how highly, one, I think of Bijan, and two, just the position in general. And you naming all those guys kind of hits home why we say,
sure,
you can wait on it. You can wait on the position.
Right.
One of those guys that you just mentioned is probably going to be available in the third round. And so why we're probably still lower on running backs. But yeah, my second favorite out of that bunch, this might be, I don't know if it's blasphemous to say, I think it's Blake Corum.
Baby.
I think his game,
let's go.
I think his game is built to translate to the NFL. Shorter running backs have better balance, are just tough to bring down. Blake Corum is a guy that I would go to bat for if we're back in the second, top of the third, and he's still on the board, because I just think that is what wins at the running back position.
I'm putting
Bijan on the board too.
I'm putting Bijan on the board here.
Damn, you got good handwriting.
I'm getting that's not good handwriting, but I'm putting Bijan on the board to respect the chat, to respect Bijan Robinson, everything that he does. I truly think that he is an offensive weapon kind of a player.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish that he had more snaps in the slot as a receiver, because I think he can do those kinds of things, but he doesn't have a ton of experience. When he had that monster catch this past weekend that was like over the middle, full extension, beautiful, you love to see that from a running back, I almost went to tweet, hey, this guy's a true offensive weapon, you can use him as a receiver, and then I went to the snap count and I'm like, they don't really use him like that, but I think he's got that kind of talent. Anything else from the chat before we move on from the board here?
Yeah, as soon as we cut to the board, John Knowles, I think that was his name, said Will Anderson too low. Do you think there's any chance that he just goes number one overall?
I don't, right?
You don't think there's any chance he goes number one overall?
I don't, no. Positional value is the name of the game, and you'd be lying to yourself. If you were sitting there, you have no edge rushers and no quarterbacks, and you would take Will Anderson over Bryce Young. You're lying to yourself. You're just lying to yourself.
Who are the teams in the top 5 right now who?
All of them.
Panthers, Texans. Who is there anybody who might entertain it? Probably the Raiders. Raiders would be the only one.
The Raiders would be the only one who could pass on a quarterback to draft. But even they got a lot of money invested at the edge position right now.
And there's no doubt about it. It's a weird exercise to play right now, because you go, oh, let's look at the top 5. Well, if the Raiders are picking number 1 overall because they won 2 games, guess what? They're probably moving on from Derek Carr. So
I was thinking trade. I was thinking they'd probably trade.
Oh, you should trade down? You mean?
Trade down. What the Tennessee Titans did, right, when they had the number 1 overall pick with Marcus Mariota.
They can do that as well. I think that makes sense. We got another one, Stone? We got one more?
That's all I saw.
Okay, all right, that's all. Everybody else liked the mock draft. Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
Didn't get too much hate from it. I'm sure we're going to go back to our computers and there's just going to be a flood of hate, and Stone was trying to protect us like a good producer parent would. All right, I teased it. We have a very creative segment coming up for you next, because there are a lot of teams in the NFL who performing well, not performing well. They're kind of teetering on that line, but we want to see what's coming up next for them. We're 6 weeks in the books, but what's the forecast? What's coming up next? We'll tell you right now. The arsonist has very oddly shaped feet. The arsonist has very unique New York, unique New. Good evening, and welcome to PFF News. I'm Trevor Sikkema. Our top story tonight: unique weather patterns are ravaging the NFL all across the country. For more on this, we go to our chief meteorologist, Mike Renner, who is in sunny Philadelphia, where the skies are clear. And it doesn't look like that's changing anytime soon. Mike?
As the saying goes, Trevor, it is always sunny in Philadelphia, and the forecast upcoming says there's not going to be a cloud in sight here. I'm with the Eagles on their bye week, and after that, they have the 29th ranked schedule remaining in the NFL. Steelers, Texans, Commanders on deck. As I said, it's looking pretty nice here. I may crack a beer myself because Jalen Hurts is over here, top 5 graded quarterback in the NFL, cracking one himself because he's going to get himself a new contract at the end of his rookie deal with the way he's playing. Number 1 ranked offensive line. Trevor, I'll be honest, I could get used to this. I'm not a Philadelphia Eagles fan, but being here in Philly, things are looking nice.
Thanks, Mike. Now we head down to Miami, Florida, where Mike Renner is live as some storms have recently gone through that area, but it seems like the worst is past them. Mike, what do you have more in Miami?
Yeah, hurricane down here in Miami that just blew through the quarterback position here. Multiple injuries at the position, but we're getting back healthy. Tua Tagovailoa, the 5th highest graded quarterback in the NFL before he got hurt, returning this week, bringing some semblance of stability to that position. Teron Armstead, hopefully back this week as well. And on the docket for the Miami Dolphins, the forecast says it's getting easier. Steelers, Lions, Bears, Browns, Texans, they don't play a team that's at or above 500 until December. Things might be looking up here in Miami.
Thank you, Mike. Tua Tagovailoa. Might need to add that to the tongue twisters to start the show there. That might be a good warm-up there. Next, we go down to Mike Renner, who is actually up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I know we've got some storms around the area. It's been a little rocky over the last couple of days, last couple of weeks, but Mike, what do you see there? Should people be preparing for the worst, or what's the forecast look like there in Green Bay?
Yeah, the forecast has changed here from early on in the season. It was looking bright, sunny. Summer was still going on early on, but right away we saw some winter storms in the forecast. They've been hitting us left and right, and there's still spotty thunderstorms. As you can see, I'm going through a little wind tunnel here right now. We got the Commanders on deck. Hopefully that's a little rebound. Hopefully we missed some storms there, but then the Bills, Lions, Cowboys, things could get worse before they get better for this 30th ranked run defense. What's looking up though, 10th ranked coverage unit, things could get better there. I will say 10th hardest schedule remaining though for the Green Bay Packers. Spotty, we'll have to see. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers can guide us through this because one thing's for certain, winter is most definitely coming.
Thanks, Mike. For our last weather report, we head down to Mike Renner, who is in our nation's capital. And I'm not going to lie to you folks, his life is on the line right now. It looks like there is dangerous weather absolutely everywhere, all kinds of bad weather that you could possibly imagine. It seems like Mike is in the thick of it. We go live to him now, Mike.
Yeah, Trevor, it's bad. I'm not going to lie right now. I'm in the mix right now. I'm right here with the Washington Commanders. Ron Rivera was screaming at me earlier. I didn't know what to do. The schedule on tap, we're 2-4. We got the Packers, Colts, Vikings, Eagles. It's not getting any easier, especially with Carson Wentz out with the surgery he had on his finger this week. Taylor Heineke's coming in. Not sure that's going to help. Carson Wentz, I did hear, though, just saw him shoot a quail down the street. Things are getting rowdy over here. Trevor, I don't know if I'm going to make it back to you.
Thank you, Mike. That's why Mike Renner is one of the best in business, because he is on the scene right there, giving you the reporting that no one else can. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to PFF News. Until next time, I'm Trevor Sikkema. You stay classy, Planet Earth. The Washington.
Philly was great this time of year. I had a great time.
The beer was a nice touch.
Yeah.
The beer was a very nice touch.
Yeah.
You went all out for
I
that
hated
one.
wasting the Miller Lite at 9 a.m. this morning, but
What do you mean wasting? It's sitting right over there.
I guess I still
You
should.
just finished the drink. You just finished the drink right there. Hey, you know what? Chris Collinsworth walked into this studio, what was it, 2 weeks ago, and said, hey, we got to start using the green screen.
Money well spent, Chris.
So they can write it off. Well, there you go, Chris. We used the green screen.
It's a write-off.
In basically exactly the way that we thought it was going to. All right, so the teams that we previewed there, Philadelphia Eagles, Miami Dolphins, Washington Commanders, and then the Green Bay Packers, obviously. Not looking good for Washington. We weren't even trying to really get too hard on them because we opened this up to, all right, we can do any teams here. And you came to the table and you're like, it's actually rough. It's not like it's been bad for Washington. It's going to continue to be bad.
Schedule going forward without Carson Wentz. And the problem is, this is why I don't love lame duck regimes. They're letting coaches fight for their job when you know it's not really going to happen, because now they're starting Taylor Heineke over Sam Howell. And yeah, maybe Howell's really not ready. That's very much a possibility given how his offense was in North Carolina compared to what it is now in the NFL. But they're doing that because that's the best chance Ron Rivera has to save his job.
Right.
You know, he's not looking forward to next year. What's best for this team long term? No, he's doing that because they have to win now. Because if they don't win now, it's out the door.
Yeah. On the flip side of things, Philadelphia. We went over it a little bit yesterday, but we did a segment. When is the first loss coming in Philly? I said week 11. You said week 16.
Yeah.
I mean, those sunny days in Philly, they're not going away. It's just that whole schedule. When we went into the season, we thought it was going to be easy. We thought 12-5, 13-4 is possible. They might lose 2 games all year. It looks like everything is pointing up in Philadelphia, especially with them, as you said in that little sketch, with them on the bye week. Everything is right there for them. They can continue to get healthy. I don't even think we're that banged up unless I'm totally forgetting somebody, but the team's relatively healthy. And I think they're going to be good to go moving forward.
29th ranked strength of schedule going forward. And you guys can find that all on pff.com. It's on the power rankings tool that we use every week here. 29th, you can see the strength schedule for every team in the NFL. 29th is insane for a team that's already undefeated. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Walt said that he thinks that Tom Brady is going to play in Vegas or Miami next year. That's kind of random. Well, I guess not. We're talking about Miami, but that was a bombshell. I just couldn't get past that, where he's going to play next year. Miami, though, you mentioned it, things do get a little easier for them.
Yes.
With Tua coming back, obviously you're hoping that really stabilizes the offense, but the rest of the schedule is not too bad in front of them, right?
Yeah, it should, realistically.
In theory.
Don't play a team that's 500 until December. Steelers, Lions, Bears, Browns, Texans coming up. They'll be favored in every single one of those. They should be favored in every single one of those. Just got to keep Tua upright.
Right.
Teron Armstead may come back this week, may not, but if he's not, they'll have to figure out a way to game plan around it because any more shots to Tua, everyone in that staff's going to be holding their breath.
Jared said that segment gets a very high grade. I want everybody in the chat to say what PFF grade that segment was. Bonker said it was an excellent segment, but then gave it a PFF grade of 63.9.
Yeah.
Is that a Mahomes reference?
I think that's either Mahomes or Quinnen Williams.
We're
taking strays for our grading system.
Look,
we're not our grading system, guys.
We're
our own people.
Quinn's grade got bumped. Quinn's grade got bumped. I think it did. I think it's like a 75 now.
Okay.
Should have been higher, but it is what it is. Tell us what the grade of the segment was. We had a lot of fun with that one. Hopefully, guys had some fun enjoying it. Before we get you out of here, we're going to play a little fun game called Drip or Skip. We're going to take a look at some iconic fits that we have seen around the NFL, and we're going to say if we would rock it or not. We start off with the one and only Kyler Murray. We gotta get Kyler's fit in here because this was truly iconic. Oh, we got a picture of Cam Newton. Cam also had some fantastic fits. So that's Marquise Brown. That's Kyler Murray.
Yeah, Marquise Brown running the mill there.
Not bad.
The course.
That's fine.
Kyler Murray shows up looking like a complete ass.
That's tough.
That's
tough. It's tough.
He looks like Kermit the Frog. That's Kermit the Frog color.
The shade of green's tough. I mean, maybe
the height's not helping him out at all.
Maybe I'd rock the shoes. Maybe I'd rock the shoes.
Even then.
Maybe he's got a watch I would rock.
I want to know if he's wearing clothes under that jacket, right? I mean, is he just rocking that jacket straight to bare skin? Because that's pretty grody.
We're skipping. We're skipping that one. That's a skip. We got Carson Wentz up next. Carson Wentz with you mentioned some quail shooting. Well, he had a camo suit that he wore this past week. Could you pull off a camo suit? I think I could. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you.
This was the fit that inspired this segment when I saw it, because this is the worst thing I've actually ever seen in my life.
No, I think I could do it.
I mean, yeah, you could pull it off better than that. Anyone can pull it off better. That's horrible. Every fiber of my being is revolted from the jacket. Camo jacket, I get it. He hunts, country boy, cool. And then to pair it with the fedora just takes it to a level of...
I can't do a fedora. I can't do it. I feel like I'm not a great, unique hat guy. I know I wore a hat for, the first 70 shows of this show, but those are, normal hats. Yes. I don't think I can do unique hats.
I would never wear a fedora. I would never wear a fedora.
We'll move on.
Ironically.
Alan Lazard is next, and Alan Lazard is full comfort, so we can go to Alan Lazard next. But yeah, I think I could do the camo suit. Cannot do the fedora. This is Alan Lazard. This your guy here.
Calling my guys.
What do we take from this? I'll take the glasses. I can do the glasses.
Terrible.
No, it's
This one's like a polo Ralph Lauren runway segment.
I don't hate this one.
Where it's like, yeah, you probably wouldn't wear that in real life, but he's going for a high fashion look. I don't hate it.
Pants are a little late 90s, early 2000s.
They look like, what was that, Jinkos? They look
yeah.
They could be.
Where the jeans go like past the kneecap, like almost like mid-calf. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what that looks like to me. But the rest of it, I don't hate. I
will say, walking in anywhere in Green Bay like that, people will stare at you. Like Green Bay is as middle America as it comes. They're still wearing clothes that they bought in the 80s. Alan Lazard's would stick out like a sore thumb.
Well, if they bought clothes in the early 2000s, then they're going to love Alan Lazard's fit right there. We have Josh Allen next. Josh Allen's fit is next. And I put this one in here because I think it has to be a drip for literally everybody because we all wear it basically every single day if you are north of what? Atlanta, Georgia? It's literally just, this man, for the biggest game of the season, went hoodie, dad hat, hood up.
That's what I want my quarterback. That's what I want. If I'm a Bills fan, I see that and I swoon. I want my quarterback not even thinking about his outfit. That is what he did. He had a Bills hoodie, probably in his hamper still. He's probably worn it like 5 times. It's probably not clean. He pulls it out, he puts it on right before, because he's been thinking about what he's going to do to the Chiefs all week. That's what he's been thinking about, not what the hell he's going to wear.
Quell said Alan Lazard looks like MC Hammer. That actually was an MC Hammer fit right there. Jake Thornton said looks like a part of a collection in Zoolander. I don't know. I think he was talking about. Was he talking about Kyler Murray? Might have been talking about Kyler Murray for a Zoolander fit. I think that might have been what he was going for. Okay, who's next? Who do we have on the list next? Oh, this is the Eagles. This is the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles went all out and they did a full video. You can start playing the video because there's a ton of them. I think Jalen Hurts is first. This is fresh.
Solid.
That is a fresh beef jerky shirt. Don't hate it. Jason Kelce?
Jason Kelce's fit was hot.
Elite. That's Fletcher Cox right there.
See, even I love that too.
Hey, it's
Jordan Davis with the NASCAR jacket.
Look at
This is how you go 6-0.
Yes. Yes.
It's the start to finish. It's the mindset from the time you get off the plane till the time the job's done. Right here. Man. I'm not seeing a.
Can we? Keep looping it.
Yeah.
Jalen's fit's incredible. Impeccable.
I haven't seen. Yeah,
Jason Kelce, elite. The duffel bag, incredible.
Solid.
And he's getting out of that car with that suit.
Dude, I love Jordan Davis's fit. That one's the top of the bunch.
Just the jacket.
Yeah, the NASCAR jacket. I mean, that's a Georgia boy right there.
Eagles are Everybody in the chat is just saying that is 6-0 drip. Whole Eagles team is just dressing absolutely fresh. You said that you wanted Josh Allen to look like that walking in. That's what I want my center to look like.
Yep.
Walking in, is the t-shirt tucked in? Because that is just.
No, I don't think so.
But if it was,
maybe it is. Yeah.
It's mint.
And I will say,
mint for an O-line.
I am the single biggest pants and sandals guy that I like.
You literally
I'm wearing
have pants and sandals right now.
I wear sandals all winter long.
You don't even play.
So for see Jason Kelce rocking the sandals with the jeans is like, that's a man after my heart.
Jason Kelce tweeted afterwards, and he just quote tweeted the video, and he's just like, yeah, solid fit. And he was just like, yeah, it's absolutely solid fit. Last one, a little bit controversial. This is the last one we have. Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's fit, not from this past week because he was wearing Jamar Chase's national championship jersey. That was good. But it was earlier this season.
Oh, yeah, this is the one we
the flower suit.
Debated a little.
Could you do it? Could you pull it off? Are you dripping or skipping?
Would I even want to? I don't think I could pull it off, and I don't think I'd want to, truthfully. Again, I think I said it at the time, if you wear something like that, someone else has to also be wearing something like that you're walking in with, or
What do you mean? What?
You can't just rock that alone.
So you want like Jamar Chase to also?
Yeah, or like some pattern,
What if a wide receiver quarterback duo every single week just matched walking into the stadium?
I mean, that's what I'm like going for.
That's
you need your wide receiving core to all be behind you rocking the same thing.
We've got a handful of people who are saying flower suit, drip, hard drip. A lot of people going drip. Alex said I miss Cam Newton for the fits. I do too. Cam had some elite fits. Man, we got some people that are saying skip, kind of weak. Man, we got this one. I'm glad that we saved Joe Burrow for the end because this one's polarizing. Yeah. Everyone's got like Alex says not sure. You can't do that, Alex.
No.
You gotta have a take.
I think I'd power rank them.
What does Felipe say? Felipe, are we dripping or skipping? Joe Burrow, that's what I want to know. I need the chat champ.
I think I'd power rank Josh Allen 1.
Okay.
Jason Kelce 2.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts 3. And that's it. That's all you need.
I would go Devontae Smith 1.
Okay,
I mean, that all white was just the freshest thing I've ever seen. Jalen's 2. Jason Kelce 3. Incredible. Josh Allen 4.
No. Dead last Carson Wentz.
Yes.
Dead last.
No, dead last is Kyler. I'm sorry.
Gosh, so bad.
It's bad. It's bad, man. It's so bad. Felipe said he's skipping. He's skipping Joe Burrow. All right, so that means that we got to skip it. We got to just come back. We got to be better next time. All right, let's get out of here. Talk about some favorite locks of the week. We're turning the page a little bit here. Midweek show. Mm-hmm. Who's your lock of the week? When you look at these upcoming games that we have for Week 7, some early lines that we got, who do you like in this game? Or who do you like in this week to earn you some money?
I'm going to go another under. Your boy loves some unders. And it's Jets at Broncos. Jets traveling to Denver.
That could be a good
39.5. Broncos have gone over that once this season. That was the Raiders game. They've only scored 20 points or more once this season.
Yeah, but the under's an F from PFF Greenline. The over's an A.
PFF overestimates Russell Wilson at the moment. They still take in past performance because that's how.
What do you mean PFF? You are PFF.
I'm just saying.
You have it in your Twitter handle.
The
you have it in your bio. You have
still assuming
sheets and blankets that just say PFF on it.
That his previous career matters to this Broncos team, which I think we know enough after 6 games to know that it's probably not getting fixed this week. Not getting fixed overnight. And the Jets, Zach Wilson has shown flashes, but they're not scoring points, on his back just yet. And this Broncos defense is good. Like, this Broncos defense legitimately has flustered pretty much everyone they've gone against.
All right. Look, you guys see all the information there. You can see a lot of the value picks we have. That's on the PFF app. So if you have an Apple device, search PFF Pro Football Focus. You'll be able to see it, and you can see that right in the palm of your hand. Look, last week, Seahawks, baby. Seahawks were there for me. They were getting 2.5. You love to see it. We were right on that one, a lock of the week. And you know what? I'm sticking with the Seahawks. Seahawks are getting 6.5 against the Los Angeles Chargers. They're traveling to LA, but it's not like they're traveling across the country, same coast. Just going down. I don't think the Chargers are set up right now to blow out anybody, let alone a team that's running the ball really well with Kenneth Walker and passing the ball really well, or really efficiently, I should say, with Geno Smith.
Yep.
Tariq Woolen maybe get you an extra interception there, because that seems like something he's doing every single week. 6.5, way too much here. I'm going with the Seahawks getting 6.5.
Seahawks are what? They're 5-1 against the spread this year.
I mean, they got it. Yeah,
I think they're
something close.
I think they're the second best team.
Falcons are 6-0, and then I think the Seahawks are right behind it.
Yeah. So betting them right now, can't hate on it. I would be on board with you on that side.
All right. Question of the day. Let's get the answer. What was it? It was Sauce Gardner has 7 forced incompletions already through 6 games this season. Who was the last cornerback to have 7 forced incompletions through the first 6 weeks of the NFL year? I'm going to go Marshawn Lattimore.
Marcus Peters.
You'll go Marcus Peters. Marshawn Lattimore was 2017. 2017. You're going with 2015. I can scroll up a little bit here, see what everybody else had. No, actually, I can't, because look, the chat has been so lit, I can't even scroll all the way back up. I love you guys for that. That is beautiful. That is exactly what I want to see. Love that you guys are getting your conversations in on the show. Felipe says Vontae Davis? That's way too far back. Vontae Davis, like 2006? I was going to say 8. That'd be something. Joe Hayden, Coltrane says Joe Hayden. William Lamp says Champ Bailey. Patrick Peterson. These are far back, though.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that far back.
Yeah.
I really don't. Let's get the answer. I know a lot of people answered at the beginning of the show, so a lot of people have their answers there. Who's the last one?
All right. I didn't see the correct answer one time. It was actually Jalen Johnson, 2020 on the Chicago Bears.
Jake just said Jalen Johnson, like 2 seconds ago.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Jay Graham said, question of the day, Jalen Johnson. Wow. What a poll.
Right at the buzzer.
Jared said, I don't know, Samara roll. Big shout out to my random player that I named on the day. All right. Do we got a chat champ today?
It's got to be Jake Graham, man. He came in right at the buzzer.
I think it has to be Jake Graham, right?
There you go. Chat champ, Jake Graham.
Jake Graham, chat champ of the day, coming in clutch. Stone said that he did not see Jalen Johnson. The correct answer anywhere until this very last second.
I will say, at
Jake
least
coming in
Marcus
clutch.
Peters did do it. He had 11 in his first 6 games, Marcus Peters.
Wow.
That's insane.
How many did Marshawn do it?
Let's see.
Look it up.
Look
We
it up.
got to look it up. I got to know if I'm right before we leave the show. I got to know that I was just bested by somebody who, knew a little bit more than me in that regard, but I wasn't necessarily wrong.
Okay.
That's
2017.
very important for me.
Marshawn
2017.
Lattimore.
Yep.
Close.
What do you have?
He had a grand total of not enough because he also got hurt. So through his actual first 6 games, though, he did have 5.
Well, now I'm hella sad. But I'm not hella sad for Jake Graham. Let's go, baby. Jake is the chat champ on the day. Jake, you know what that means. You got to be in the chat tomorrow. You got to represent the chat. We're not doing trivia tomorrow. We're switching it up a little bit. We're doing trivia on Friday. There's a reason why we're doing trivia on Friday, but holy cow, Friday's show is already going to be jam-packed. So, Jake, you got to get in tomorrow. Whatever shenanigans we're getting into, you got to represent the chat in that way. Had a lot of fun today. Hopefully, you guys did as well. For Trevor Sikkema, for Mike Renner, for everybody in the production suite, thank you guys so much for watching the show. We will be back right here, same time tomorrow, 11 a.m. on PFF's YouTube. We'll see you guys then.
It's not about politics, it's about football.
This is a simple game.
We're going to run the ball, and we're going to pass the ball. We're just going to play football, really.
How good of a football player are you?
Not just get it and try to spin it. That's all.
I just love the game.
It really is the best time of the year.